Have you ever looked at your miniature and thought, is this a figure or just a blob of poorly painted color? Don't worry, you're not alone. But maybe the blame isn't on you, but on this famous technique called Slapchop. Is it really the magic solution they promise? Or rather, is it an obstacle to your progress as a painter? Today, I will explain why I think this technique might be holding you back, and the best part is, I'll show you an alternative that will take your results and skills to the next level. For those who don't know what this technique is about, the Slapchop technique involves applying a black base to the miniature and highlighting the details using a dry brush from a gray tone to white, and then covering it with semi-translucent paints. And this in theory provides light, shadow and depth quickly and easily. Let's talk about the problems and promises of Slapchop. Slapchop is sold with several promises: speed, simplicity, eye-catching results with little effort, and a supposed good foundation for other styles. Sounds great, right? So let's analyze whether it lives up to all its promises. Speed. It's true that you can paint quickly, but what benefit do you get if the result doesn't satisfy you or even looks mediocre? Maybe it's better than leaving the miniature in grey plastic. Or even for those who want to paint quickly and meet the requirements of a tournament without using an airbrush. But I know that if you're watching this video, it's probably because you enjoy painting as part of this hobby. Relax while you paint, enjoy the process and take your time. And feel proud of the result. This is a hobby to create something with calm and dedication, valuing the satisfaction of a job well done more than the rush to finish. Second point, simplicity. Is it simple? Sure, if your painting level is basic, using dry brushing without much planning may seem easy. But if simplicity is what you're after, there's not much difference between using this technique and using fret paints directly over a white primer. So why complicate our lives by applying dry brush first? Additionally, using a dry brush tends to unify the texture of the entire miniature, making it look like it's made of the same material, almost like a kind of porous rock. That's why personally I only recommend using this technique for painting rock scenery or for very limited and specific uses. It's important to remember that texture is one of the key elements that differentiates one material from another, even more than the color we paint it with. This is because colors can change depending on the environment or lighting, while the texture remains constant. 3. Eye-catching results with little effort. Let's look at real examples. The result tends to be flat and unrealistic, as if we were painting a stone statue. 4. Good base for other styles. Here is the biggest problem. Slapchop does not position lights and volumes correctly. Instead, you paint with a dry brush randomly, which forces you to redo work and hinders the basis for learning. Whereas if you work correctly on the volumes following the light source, it will be much easier for you to apply inks or colors on top, achieving a much more striking and realistic result. A clear example is video games. What really makes a difference in video game graphics isn't the colors, but how the light interacts with them. Additionally, some content creators create some additional steps to innovate, such as the so-called double Slapchat. However, all they achieve is wasting the time invested in repeating the process without making any significant improvements to the final result. Just to be clear, this is my personal point of view, and I respect any painting method you choose. The most serious issue is that you don't learn fundamental painting skills. In the end, it's a technique where you get stuck. And because it starts from a poor foundation, it won't allow you to evolve in your painting style. In fact, it can teach you bad habits that will be hard to correct later. Understanding light and volume is key in miniature painting, and this technique fails in both. That's why today I'm bringing you my method, which allows you to gradually evolve. Don't expect to get amazing results right from the start, but you will notice differences with each iteration, by being a little better each day than the day before. I propose a method that combines speed and quality without sacrificing learning. Pen. Define the light or reference focus. Print your miniature in black and use the lamp to project light from the desired angle. Don't hesitate to take several photos with your phone until you find the desired angle or main view. Duo. Overhead light. Spray from the angle of the light to create a base. This is very useful for having additional support to the reference of the taken photo. 3. Mid-tone. Paint with a base color. The illuminated areas should guide you using the reference photo. In this step, it's about covering a large part of the area and only avoiding the maximum shadows. That is to say, the areas where the photo comes out completely black. In the image on the right, I'm leaving you a sketch to give you an idea. Step 4. Light with contrast. Apply a layer of light with high contrast and high luminous value, making sure it has great opacity. That is to say, it should cover well. And we achieve this with colors that have a lot of white. Be careful, this layer needs to cover a smaller area than the previous one, focusing on the spot where the light is most intense. Therefore, you can use the most prominent highlights from the reference photo on the right as a guide. As you can see, step 1 is essential, and it will be the foundation for building our volumes. This reference photo helps us capture and freeze the image, preventing the highlights from moving. Since every time I move the miniature, the lighting is going to change position. Step 5. Maximum highlights. This step is to achieve excellence. Use a yellow tone with a lot of white to highlight the area of greatest brightness. Be careful, and the most important thing is to apply it subtly in a very small area. Finally, point 6, the magic step. Mix a red ink with a medium diluted tone and use it as a filter to soften the transitions between layers. Apply this mixture with a brush gently. And if you see that it needs another coat, it's important to wait for it to dry. You can apply as many layers of filters as necessary. Although if you have an airbrush, you can do this process much faster. As you can see, the result is amazing. Comparison of results. When you compare a miniature painted with Slapchop to my method, you'll see a huge difference. My technique not only improves the appearance, it also helps you to improve and progress. So after all the effort and money you really put into this hobby, do you really want to continue using Slapchop and get mediocre results? Or, on the contrary, are you encouraged to apply a method that will make you a better painter and bring out the best in your miniatures? Weigh in with your comments below, share your results, and subscribe for more tips that will help you take your painting to the next level. Also, if you want to learn the complete step-by-step process of how to paint this miniature, including the paints I've used for the skin, how to paint the wings, the base, and the armor, I invite you to join my Patreon. There you'll find tutorials organized by difficulty level, perfect for adapting to your progress, and that are simple and easy to follow. See you in the next video, and remember, the late applause is always the sweetest. Thank you for being here.